Hey guys, welcome back. Thought I'd do another video update this week for January 2021. The year that 2020 starts drinking. It's gonna be awesome. Got some progress going over the holidays. I did end up ordering, I actually ended up with the Delorean Go radiator. Besides it being cheaper, I also kind of like the feature that the bolts go into the radiator rather than there being studs sticking out of the radiator that you have to, finagle up and out if you ever need to take the radiator out again. So this one, you just drop these bolts out and then the radiator should come, in theory, straight out, and you can drop it down, which should make it easier to replace if, hopefully I never have to do that, but I like that feature, so I just went ahead and got that one. As far as fit, I thought it was fine. The holes don't exactly match up to the stock radiator, and then I did have to drill these center ones out. But you're able to kind of wiggle all the bolts into place and then tighten them all down, and it's just fine. So I didn't really have any issue with that. It did take a little bit of finagling to get the brackets and everything to line up all at once. So basically you just kind of leave everything loose. All the bolts installed, but everything loose to kind of just shimmy it into place. Once everything's in and it's in where you want it, then you can go ahead and tighten everything down. So, the only other radiator I have experience with is my stock one. So I can't really speak to how the other ones will be, but I was fine with how that went on. One of the silly things I went ahead and bought was the horns. I got those from Houston. I guess those are new old stock. Probably could have gone without them, but my other ones were crusty, so I just decided to go ahead and grab those. I got the air conditioning condenser from Houston, and that is fine. When I went to install the block down here for the high pressure switch and the blow off valve, I did have my threads strip off on me, and I don't know if that was me or if there was a defect here. The block I bought from Delorean Go, and so I don't know if the defect was in the block or in the condenser, or if it was just me screwing up putting it on. But I can't really blame the vendors for that one, because I don't know, whose issue that was. So I'm thinking I'm going to take the block and this condenser to a radiator shop and see if they can either braze it on or TIG weld it aluminum. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So here's the block, and so if I can take this O-ring out, there we go, and set it in there, I should be able to have a bead run right there and just kind of weld this into place permanently. I don't see really any issue with doing that, since this block's got to be there one way or the other. So I guess more to come on that one. We'll see what I can figure out. I went ahead and decided that I wanted to have an all brand new air conditioning system in this car, just because I'm in Florida and it's hot, and I want to drive the car in the summer when the weather is the best, and it's raining the least. So I'm sure you guys can understand that. The other thing I worked on over the break, you probably saw some posts. I put in this this little piece of steel rod. I welded it to the original brake line bracket that actually holds in the speedo cable. It has this cheesy, plastic clip that the wires just kind of pop out of there. And I seen that the updated bracket has this arm on it, and I didn't want to buy a new bracket, so I just decided to weld this arm into place, and it seems to be working out pretty well. So, you know, if I have issues with it later on, I'll probably end up just going to a GPS speedometer anyway. So that's kind of just a little fun thing I did one night. Also cleaned up my shifter and greased it, installed it. It was covered in, you know, 30 years of mice excrement and whatever else. Same with down in that hole when I first pulled the frame off. That was probably one of the thickest nests I found, was down inside there. Nasty. See, I got my axles installed with the hex cap bolts, which was a dream to put in. That was very nice. My axles turned out awesome after the rebuild I did on them. So both sides are done. I got my emergency brake cables are installed. I'll need to do quite a bit of adjusting on it, I'm sure, once I get the rest of the car together. Cables are hanging out right here, just waiting for me to put the car back together. It's done on both sides. I did get my compressor. It's there from Houston, waiting to go in. Another project I was working on is I went ahead and drilled out all the rib nuts in these 3 panels in here in the trunk, and put in new stainless steel rib nuts, and got a bunch of M5 X cap stainless steel screws. There it is. So those should sit a little flush, you know, a little nicer in here. Later on, it'll be underneath carpet and you won't see it anyway, but I'll know it's there. Haven't done much on the inside. I did mess around with my rear latch pin, which was sticking way too far out and rubbing. So I set that one back in there, and this passenger door closes much nicer now. Basically my storage unit in there, trying to get this stuff in there, but it's just too much to do on the rest of the car. Let's see, I got my brake master cylinder, gonna bench bleed that soon. Clutch master cylinder, same there. This locking gas cap is trash, so I'm gonna get a new one. Here's the gasket for the fuel filler neck, which is here. Mine's in pretty decent shape, so I'm just gonna throw it back in there and run it. I'm gonna get a new gasket. Cleaning up pipes and stuff for the fuel filler. Let's see. I've got the booster installed. I refurbished that earlier this year, painted it, made it look nice. It's ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to high energy ignition, HEI, straight away. So I got the new coil, and I've gotten rid of all the nasty stuff along the firewall, the relay and the relay bracket, and the resistor. All that stuff comes out when you go HEI, so cleans up the engine bay even more. From just going carbureted, you can clean up the engine bay quite a bit, and then if you go even one step further and go HEI, you'll get rid of even more wiring. So kind of like that idea, so decided to go ahead and do that. It's not just a coil though, you also got to gap your spark plugs and then run full voltage to the coil to get HEI. Here's that wiring harness across the back after I've cleaned out some of the wires I'm not going to keep. And if anybody's ever been curious about what the red and black mystery connector goes to, it goes to absolutely nothing. Well, I take it back. It goes to this resistor or diode or whatever this is, and then it loops right back to itself. So, I don't know.
some kind of test port for something? I don't know. Somebody might have answered that at some point, but I kind of laughed when I took that out and I was like, really? That's it? All right. Thanks for watching this long. Sorry for all the babbling and the dead time, but I appreciate you guys following along. And oh, one more thing. I did take the antenna out because I am going to paint this car another color, and so I'm going to have this filled, and I'm going to get the rear pontoon antenna, the automatic antenna, which also reminds me I'm debating whether I want to go to a new stereo or have my old Craig stereo refit or refurbished by Dimitri out there in France. So not really sure, but if I decide to go to a new one, I'm going to have a center console thing to sell to somebody, and probably a radio too. Anyway, all right, enough for now. 3430 saga continues. Thanks for watching.